You ever set a hammock up before?
On one of those pole things.
Like hammock stands in the garden?
So when you said, why don't you finish work early? I'll take you out for some lunch. This is what you meant.
Yeah.
Why am I setting it up?
You've gate crashed my lunch break, so you can set up your own bed.
I might need some help with this one.
Okay. Wrap the first one around the tree, above this, somewhere back there, just over your head height. And then pull them through that loop.
Like that?
That's it. Just tying it up to the tree. Job done. Are you sure you've never done this before?
It's been quite easy so far. Like a magic trick, isn't it?
It is.
Woo. Like that?
Yeah. You're a natural. I reckon you should do a wild camp on your own.
Never gonna happen. That might be a bit high, might it? The thing is, putting a hammock up seems quite easy. I don't think it's as easy.
Getting in it's going to be the fun bit.
Get in it. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that should be about right height for you as well. And just open it up. Park your bum in. I'd just sit on it before I laid down though.
Why?
Oh, look at her, look. Making yourself at home. Oh, clicking your fingers. What would you like, madam?
I would like an iced coffee, please.
No problem.
And my book.
Consider it done.
Thanks. Why have I not done this before?
I don't know. Can't have note to myself, can I? Wow. Good read. And relax. So I got a nice little surprise from the post lady this morning. She's brought me a new stove. And the plan was to come out and have a little bit of peace and quiet lunch testing my new stove before Mrs. M hijacked that. You're just going to keep quiet and read your book, aren't you?
Yes, dear.
While I play with fire. Get myself set up now. Are you alright in my hammock, or is it your hammock now? I'll have this little tiny stool. Oh no, bought wrong one. I wanted my stool and I've bought my chair. Never mind, I'll just be a little bit lower. Should always read your bag, shouldn't you? Can't even blame you for this one. I'll bring in a stool anyway. It was a hammock I couldn't find. This'll do a job. Right, so I've been asked loads of questions about this table. It's nothing special. It's called a Quest stick table. I think it was about £8 or £9. If you just Google that or go outdoors, I've got pretty much identical same thing. I have melted a bit there, look, but all I've done to it is I put a little bit of Gorilla tape around just this section there, because these are quite loose in there inside there. There was 2 layers of tape and then it locks in, it's not going anywhere. Yeah, something so cheap yet so useful.
So were you talking about me or the table?
Obviously the table. Right, so who remembers Keith? This is my 350 millilitre titanium mug. It houses my pocket cook kit. So in here I've been using, I think it's an ever new titanium stove, which is pretty decent. Normally I've got a little tiny fuel bottle in there, my pot gripper fits in there, and I've got a little metal spoon as well, folding spoon, which fits in normally, but I don't know where that is in a minute. I recently saw another stove I thought would be an upgrade on this. So this normally just fits on top like that. I haven't got any sort of windshield and the flames come quite high around the outside of the pot, which means that the handles get really hot. But today this little beauty arrived. So I've ordered this from Australia, from a company called Goshawk. It was £22 for the stove. However, I put it in my basket. That's the stove and this little windshield that fits on the top. I put it in my basket and didn't buy it. And they sent me an email the next day saying if you've got something stuck in your basket, if you purchase now you can have another £5 off. So I did. It cost me £11 shipping and it took a week to get here. So £30 in all for this. Bargain, don't you think, darling?
Mm-hmm.
So you can buy the little burner on its own. And it's got a screw top lid with a seal on it, so you can actually store some fuel in here as well. And then it's got like it's got less jets than the Evernew stove. So I've not actually tried it yet, so this is going to be the first burn. But I like the fact that the windshield fits on top and then your pot rests on top. So this particular pot, it only just fits it, but it is pretty sturdy if you've got some water or something in it. If you've got nothing in it, it does move around a little bit. Let me get this one out of the way. Yeah, so what also is really good is that this fits perfectly inside Keith. Here we go, look. Nice and snug with a little tiny rag around it. So you've got windshield, stove and Keith. And it all just fits in my pocket, literally fits in my pocket. And the other bonus is, this one didn't come with a little stuff sack for it, so I used a little sock for it. That's been upgraded to a different special sock now. I'll just say that in front of my wife. The stuff sack that the stove comes in, everything fits in it.
No solid.
Yeah, and I don't need a sock anymore. Although it is a little bit snug. There we go. Perfect. Go back to reading your book. She don't get it. Right. We're going to have to get it fired up. So you're going to see this first time, same as me. Right, I brought my heat-proof little mat. So this is just a soldering mat, which should stop this sort of thing happening. I think it was from B&Q, something like that. But it's great if you're using alcohol stoves. I've actually got off the chair for this because I don't really want my legs either side of it, because if I accidentally knock the stove over or the boiling water over, then it's going to hurt, and we don't want that, do we? Bioethanol for the fuel. Just half fill it. I can hear the music. Tram lines has fired up, can you hear it? Mm. Where would you rather be?
I'd rather be here than at tram lines.
Let's get it fired up. See if it lights with just a spark. Yeah, it's only a little spark as well, but that's lit. A bit like a trangia, I think you have to wait till it blooms and then it sort of makes a conical flame which just goes upwards. On the menu, we have chicken and mushroom noodles, mugshot. Would you like one, dear?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
She can't be tempted. Let's put this windshield on. See if it makes a difference. $200 millilitres. About there. Just rest it on top. Wow. Look at the fuel bubbling in there. That is pretty wild. Maybe too wild. That's just ridiculous. Not something that I could use in a tent, it's just too volatile. It might not be the answer that I was seeking. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. But for me, that's too wild. What do you think?
I think you've set it up right next to my backside as well.
Has it warming it up for you? There's about 2 foot there. Should be right. I'm hoping I get some decent flames for a thumbnail. Right, it's not boiled yet. There's little tiny bubbles. But the fuel's about all gone. It's just way too wild. It's not as good as the Avenue on that, which I'm disappointed about because I really wanted to love it, which I obviously do because it's still a stove. But it won't be going in any of my tents.
You're defective and I love you.
Yeah, you can't help who or what you fall in love with, can you?
Unfortunately for me, you fall in love with stoves.
Yeah, that's bonkers. I'm glad I didn't like this when my legs are the side of it. Would have been meatballs for tea, wouldn't it? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Let me know in the comments if you've noticed something obvious, but I'm using it like I've used any other alcohol stove before. Put some fuel in, light it, and the pot goes on top. This is the pot stand that's supplied with it, so...
It's not upside down, is it?
No. Well, it's boiled anyway. Absolutely drinks through the fuel though. Gordon Ramsay, eat your heart out. Could you get used to that?
Could I get used to it? I'm already used to it.
Yeah. So this is the place where I come and film all these little chat videos. It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Mm.
And I bet this. I'll have a go with that stove again. I'll see if it fits with the windshield, and if it doesn't, we'll just try it on top and see how volatile that is in these conditions. I've just rinsed my mug out. So by the time I've eaten that, this has cooled down anyway. It'd probably work a lot better with a larger pot, but that's not what I bought it for. I'm going to try this fella. First of all, will it fit in there? So that actually rests on there, but it's not quite as stable as on the other stove. It doesn't fit in there like that. So I'm not going to use this. But you notice that this was really bubbling inside, so whereas this kind of stove The pot goes on top, so the flame inside, well, there is no flame inside, you're only getting what's coming out of the jets. Might still be bubbling in there, but it's not burning all that excess fuel off and wasting stuff. So I'm guessing this is more efficient, although I've not got anything to do a scientific test. Yep, that's lit. For this one, I am going to let this bloom before I put the pot on top, otherwise I think I'll just extinguish the flame. Starting to come out the jets now. Look, this would obviously work better with a windshield, but I've not brought one. There we go. It's actually sturdier on that stove. Look how much calmer that is. One little flame coming out the side. Probably take a little bit longer to boil. Not in any rush though. This has taken quite a bit longer to boil. But you can see, look how much calmer it is. There's still some fuel left in there as well. There's not loads, but it's a lot more efficient than the other one. Cappuccino, madam.
Ah, go on.
It's a bit warm, go steady. Tell everyone your little trick for the Sea to Summit mug not tasting.
Put it in the freezer.
Yeah?
I got one of your subscribers told me that.
Yeah?
It has like a mouldy taste, doesn't it?
It's weird, it's like a plasticky sort of
Yeah.
taste sometimes. I don't notice it, but some people do.
I do and I don't like it.
Yeah.
And yeah, he says if you wash it and then
Store it in the freezer.
it doesn't have it, and
Yeah.
it's true. Unfortunately, I haven't got my mug today because I wasn't due to come with you.
Yeah.
I've got yours, which will probably taste of mould. However, I'm very grateful for the coffee. Thank you, darling.
You're welcome. Well, I'm gonna have to say that one's still gonna have to be the one, Keith. Good effort, you've, but no cigar. Right, we need to pack up.
Already on it.
Enough of your little break. Oh, she's at it, look. She's on it, you've got to try and shove it back in its pocket. Harder than it looks. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow.